Okay, so chilling in my car. So I decided this evening to here, I don't know if I should turn this on. Is that better? Is that lighting? It just shows how tired I am. It's just accentuating the bags under my eyes. I don't know. Should we keep it on? We'll keep it on, I guess, for now. We'll see. This evening, I decided to dress up like a normal human being and try and feel like a normal human being and just go get some Starbucks and just go get a drink, like a coffee or something. And I ended up going to my favorite burger place. I'm just sanitizing my hands right now. I think I might even get the wet wipes out. And decided to get a burger because I was hungry. Story of my life. And to be quite honest, I don't know why, but the drive over here, I was kind of just like, you know what? I've never done a mukbang, and I kind of want to try it, because it seems like fun, and it seems like, you know what, sometimes it's a lot less complicated to talk to yourself than talking to somebody else. So, here we are. I'm just trying to keep my hands clean so I can actually feel, like, safe eating this burger. Yeah, it's been a weird ride. I know I haven't checked back in, and I never uploaded a video I was supposed to, or that I said I would, and I never did, and here we are. I don't have an excuse. I think I tried to, the last video that I was supposed to upload was supposed to be a bikini review, and I did record that video, except the problem is the video got corrupted, I think, at some point or another, and then I just never re-recorded it, and it never went up, so I apologize. I don't have any better excuse than that, but here we are. Yeah, so I don't know. I just had this idea for this outfit. I'm wearing knee-high boots and this black satin dress and this lovely wool, like, blazer jacket my mom got me for my birthday, which was not too long ago. And, I kind of just wanted to feel like a pretty woman today, so here we are. And a woman that's hungry, so I'm going to get my burger out and start eating it. So, how's your weekend going? I hope all your weekend's going well. My weekend has been weird only because my Friday ended up being a chaotic mess. Yes, I'm going to be eating, but I'm also going to be talking about an accident that I had at work, which involves some blood, and talking about going to the hospital. So, here's a trigger warning. I'm pre-warning you now. But first, I'm going to take a bite of the burger. Yes. If you want to know where I got this burger from, I got it from a place that's local to me. It's one of my favorite it's probably the favorite burger joint in the area. It's called Apache Burger. It's in Etobicoke, which is within Toronto, Ontario, Canada, for all the details. It's a burger joint that's been around for a really long time, and they make really great burgers. And to be quite frank, I just got a cheeseburger. Usually I get the Apache burger with bacon, and it's a double patty with everything. I usually get, like, everything on it, but I was actually supposed to go home and cook dinner. So I guess this is my appetizer pre-dinner. I'm not mad about it. Ooh, those onions are chewy. So good. So good. I also just remembered I got fancy new AirPods. I don't need these, but I got these as a birthday gift. So I just remembered, thankfully, to actually put them on, and I believe they work as a really good microphone, so we're trying it out. Now you guys get the super ASMR bonus part of me putting food in my face. Oh. So, Friday, I fucked myself up. It was on accident. While I was at work, I was moving something, and a part of the object came flying down. I was moving a very large lamp, and it has a metal lampshade, and I didn't realize / didn't know that the top part of it, one part of it, isn't attached. And I've moved this lamp probably like a bunch, like half a dozen times, and I don't remember ever knowing that part comes off. So as the top part, I was holding the neck of the lamp towards obviously the bottom of it, and it was too late when I realized that the top part was hurling towards me and landed in my wrist. It landed on my wrist and then landed inside my wrist, and I knew almost immediately when I moved it off my wrist that it was bad, because I could see the, like, chunk of skin. Sorry for any of you watching and are squeamish. I did warn you. When I saw, like, the chunk of skin kind of come off and the amount of blood that came out, I knew almost right away that it was bad. And thanks to, like, my lovely staff for saving me. One had my wrist in a, like, vice grip with his hand with paper towel around me, and the other one was bandaging my finger, because I didn't even realize, but this hand also got fucked up. I got a cut here. I got a cut here somehow. I think even this hand got a cut here somehow. I got fucked by that lampshade. And we basically taped me up, and I drove myself to the hospital, pumped up on an adrenaline. And then about 3 hours later, I finally saw a doctor, which, wasn't a great feeling. But by that point, all the adrenaline had stopped. So I was just hysterical at that point. And before I had left work, I had looked at my wrist. Like, we looked at it. And I, of course, asked everybody in the room if they were okay, if they were going to pass out, or if everybody was going to be okay with it, and everybody was fine. So I'm just moving my seat back because I'm trying to get some better lighting. There, that's a little bit better. Once I asked everybody in the room if they were okay with it, and I took the paper towel off, and I could see the inside of my hand. Now, the reason I think I freaked out so much after 3 hours, I mean, the adrenaline had stopped pumping, so I was just in pain at that point. They didn't give me anything. The hospital didn't give me anything. I was in a lot of pain, and obviously the image of seeing the inside of my hand kept popping up in my head. So obviously it was freaking me out even more, which didn't help the situation, obviously. And I was then freaking out because I realized, they're gonna have to sew my hand up, and the idea of a needle going into my hand and sewing me up freaked me out even more. So by the time the doctor saw me, I was a wreck. I was already crying, and he was so sweet, he was so kind, and he did say that he he actually, laid me down on the bed. He didn't lay me down. He asked me to lay down. I laid down on the bed in the room, and he put a bunch of, the paper stuff that they use at the hospital, and he took a look at my hand, and he said, well, he didn't think I needed to get stitches, and he would just glue my hand shut, basically, which I know that, and I've said it before, and I've told my mom this because I learned this lesson from the UFC. If you get a cut that's bad, and usually on your face, you don't want to go to the emerge and just get whoever comes in. You want to ask for a plastic surgeon because they know how to stitch it so well that it's not going to scar as badly, or sometimes not scar at all. And I know that for a fact, this is going to be the ugliest scar ever. I mean, I think I have one tiny scar on my forehead here from a childhood accident, but I've never fucked myself up. So that's what added a whole nother layer of just freaking out to this whole situation. So yes, it was excruciatingly painful because he had to take the bandage off, because I had a lovely experience at the triage before I even got into, and I'm being very sarcastic, I understand hospitals, especially right now, are under so much pressure, and I didn't want to walk into that hospital. I didn't want to be anywhere near that hospital, but unfortunately, I knew I had hurt myself bad enough that I needed stitches. So I don't want to sit here and bash on the nurse or the woman that helped me, or checked me in, basically. I don't want to sit here and do that because it's not productive. It's not worth it. It's not nice, honestly. Oh, excuse you. Oh, I guess my car is off now. Here, let's see if there. And I hope I don't kill my battery by doing this, but we're gonna go with it and see what happens. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit here and rip on the person, but she didn't help the situation, and actually was making it worse in regards to what she was asking me to do, and the fact that she was kind of being just not defensive with me, but she wasn't helping me. And I also don't want to sound like I was trying to be civil, but what she was asking me to do, she was asking me to take off the band, or basically the paper towel around my wrist, but we had taped it around, we had basically packing taped it, so I couldn't just take it off. She kept asking me to pull it down further, and I physically couldn't, and it was hurting me to do so. So I just, like, finally at one point I'm like, can you just get me some scissors? And then if we get some scissors, it'll be off my hand in 2 seconds. And the way she ended up bandaging up my wrist, just, it wasn't comfortable, it didn't help, and it was more painful than what I had going on before. But obviously you want to avoid an infection, so I understand why she did what she did. But it just, overall, that 3-hour experience was pretty shitty because I was in pain the entire time, and obviously, like, bleeding and just panicking and having a lot of anxiety, and basically having a mild panic attack, to say the least. So it was not a fun first experience of really fucking myself up. And in the greater scheme of things, it really isn't that big of a deal, considering, like, 5 minutes after I'd sat down at the desk, finally, some poor girl came in with clearly seemingly to have a broken arm, or at least it was wrapped up and bandaged up in, like, cardboard and a bunch of scarves. So so I'm fully aware that I may have been freaking out a little bit more than I should have, but I stayed quiet. I didn't talk to anybody. But it also didn't help sitting in the waiting room and having everybody looking at me, like, while I was holding my wrist, looking like I had basically slit my own wrist, or at least that's what kind of the look I got from a few people. And I'm like, trust me, this isn't where I want to be right now, and that's not what happened. So it was kind of a traumatizing experience, and lately I've just kind of been in a weird mood, and, like, not just a weird mood, but I've been kind of struggling a little bit. Like, I've been just kind of sad lately. So this whole thing didn't really help. But I do have to say, after, like, waking up on Saturday morning, I already felt better. I wasn't in as much pain. I could move my hand around, and it is this hand with the giant bandage on it. The scar is probably going to be horrendous. I did post a photo of my wrist in my story, I think yesterday. Mostly because I didn't want to put it in my feed and freak everybody out, or, like, disgust anybody or make anybody throw up. So I snuck it in onto my story. So I only partially freaked everybody out. But it doesn't look good, to say the least. It looks real bad. Oh my god, it's so good. I'm so happy right now, though. This was a good life choice. You know, even just today, it does feel already a little bit better today. I did ice it last night, so I think that helped, and I'm gonna ice it again tonight. I can't get it wet. I can't. He put a bandage over top of the glued part, and it's basically holding it together. I can't get it wet for a week. I can't, touch it. I can't scratch it. I should leave it alone, and after a week, he said it should be fine. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be fine after a week. I don't know. I'm gonna see what happens, but I kind of regret not asking for somebody to be able to stitch it up, because I know it's going to be an ugly scar, but it is what it is. You know what? It could have been so much worse. It could have really fucked my hand up. It could have been a much more serious situation. So, I'm just grateful that it wasn't. And, it just, another story to add to the lifetime. Why not? So yeah. That's where I'm at right now. This is so good. Beyond pepper. I'm not picky. Usually I just get everything on my burger. And honestly, they're always so fucking busy there. And there were kind of some snotty teenage boys there that were making things difficult for the guys. And they're clearly overwhelmed because they're super busy. So I try to make it as easy as possible and just get everything on my burger rather than standing there and, like, picking and choosing. And honestly, you can't go wrong. So, if you go, I highly recommend just get everything on the thing. Get everything on the burger. It's so good. You won't regret it. And I also got a mango dragon fruit refresher without lemonade. This is usually my go-to if I'm not getting coffee, or if it's the season, which it is, and I'm getting a hot drink, I'll get the caramel brulee latte, which I just usually, sometimes I won't even realize it until after the fact. I'll just call it the creme brulee, which creme brulee latte, which is not. It isn't that. It's a caramel brulee latte. But you know, who's making rules? Who likes the Starbucks rules? Oh my god, I'm getting it everywhere on me. How do people do this? Maybe they just have better eating skills than I do. Yeah, so this weekend, like, it was a little disappointing that I didn't end up doing, I guess, a little bit more than I expected. I did get all my Christmas shopping done for my work staff, so that's great. Haven't started on anybody else. And, like, turning is still really hard, and parking is still really hard, so, like, that's frustrating. And now on Monday we're going into another lockdown, or York region is, and it's just like everybody basically from Toronto went to York to go shopping, and it's just now they're shutting down there. It's just, you know what, I'm not going to get into the COVID stuff because I'm so tired of hearing about it, and it's so ridiculous. I think we're all so freaking tired of it that I'm just not even going to bother bringing it up. I'm just going to, you know what, never mind, erase the thought. But I am concerned that now I don't know where I'm going to go shopping for more Christmas presents. I have, like, 3 options. I have Dollarama, LCBO, which isn't a terrible option because all my friends are of age, so I could just get booze for everybody, which is my backup plan. I'm just going to get bottles of booze for everybody. Dollarama, which also isn't the worst, but it's not, obviously, I like getting one nice thing at least for everybody, and then a bottle of booze, because it's just, like, one nice thing that they can either, like, play with, or they can have, or they can use, and not just drink and then throw it out. So I like to get that one nice thing, but honestly, of course, like, it is what it is this year. We're living at a time where the world is just kind of, like, it feels kind of like we're at the mercy of our governments at this point. And I'm trying to go with it as best as I can with feeling sane as much as I possibly can. So doing shit like this is keeping me sane. Can't really go on a date. Tried that. Didn't really work. You can hang out with your friends, sort of. But you also want to respect people's boundaries because, I'm going to work every single day, and I am coming in contact with people. And luckily, the industry that I work in and the people that I come in contact with get tested on a regular basis, so I don't have to be too concerned about that. But you still also want to respect people's boundaries and knowing, like, they don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing, which is really not, I'm not doing a whole lot. I'm going home, going to work, and coming back home. That's about my life currently. Which, again, I'm lucky to have a job, so I'm not sitting here complaining. I'm still making money, and, I'm happy to be in the position that I'm in, and I know that I'm lucky to be in the position that I'm in, so no complaints. But I don't know. Obviously, this year didn't go to anybody's plan. I don't really know what else to say. I'm also just enjoying the last bits of this burger. And everybody just showed up. There's a giant line. So I'm sitting in the Starbucks drive-thru, or in the parking lot, and there's a drive-thru right in front of me. It's a very small parking lot, and this is probably my favorite welcome to one of my favorite parking lots to hang out in. I'll usually come in here and get I'll get a drink, and then I'll park, and I'll just sit here for a bit, because it's just chill. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna give up on the light. And lately it hasn't been too crazy. Like, sometimes you can't even park, and this parking lot and this drive-thru was, like, clearly, it was an afterthought. I don't think they planned on having a drive-thru at this Starbucks, and so, because of that, It is very small. It is very, very small. It's not meant to, I think, house or deal with the amount of traffic that it gets, but they clearly make do. So there's a lineup of cars in front of me. Somebody just pulled up on my left side, and I'm like scared to look over at them and make eye contact and be like, yes, I am sitting here recording myself eating and talking to myself. There's some cars behind me, but I don't think they care what I'm doing right now. I don't think anybody really cares. I don't think anybody's really looking. So it is what it is. I don't even care. So luckily, I am luckily and unluckily, all this shit that happened with my hand / my wrist was poor timing, because this is the last week of work for me before for the end of the year. And what's disappointing is we have so much to do, so I'm going to need my hand one way or another. But at least then I get 2 weeks off. So I'm trying to kind of figure out at this point, like at the end of the year, what I want to do. And I really want to build a computer, because my poor MacBook just cannot handle me playing, me playing Among Us. Like, it really can't. And I really want to get into playing more video games, like playing COD playing COD again, and just playing Among Us properly, like on a proper system and a setup, and just like being able to do that. So I'm trying to figure out if I should spend the money on that, get a new camera, or get a gun range membership. I'm stuck between the three. Obviously, the computer, I think, is going to be the most expensive option out of the three right now. Excuse me. I've been sucking in too much air and talking too much. I think that's what's going on right now. I, really want to start building a computer, but I don't know if I can find all the parts, and I don't really know what I'm doing. So luckily, I know somebody that can help me out, but I also just, was bugging them recently to help me out with another thing. So I understand, I respect people's boundaries as much as, I try and respect people's boundaries. And if I ask somebody to help me do something, I always make it very clear to them, don't feel obligated to help me. I will happily, pay for your time, or pay for a dinner, or buy you a bottle of something really nice to show you that I appreciate this, and that I'm not just using you for your time or for your knowledge. So I do know somebody that can help me build a computer. I'm just trying to figure out what time is the best time, and also I also need to figure out can I afford to, and can I pay, first of all, I gotta get all the Christmas gifts done, then pay all my bills, have enough obviously for the new year for my car insurance and all that, which I know I do. It's just, the perks, the little bit of luxury at the end of the year. Do I want to add, what do I want to add? How do I want to spend my 2 weeks off? Either sitting in front of a computer screen, or at a range, or, driving about, which I really want to take advantage of, because I haven't done that. And I got my car at the tail end of summer, and I honestly thought I would be driving out, and that's one of my favorite things to do, is get in the car and just drive and see where I end up. And since I've got this car, it's I'm sad to say, but I have yet to do that. And I said it from day one, that when I would get a car, I knew if I would get a car, I would never be here on the weekends. I'd never be in Toronto on the weekends. But yet, I still have yet to go anywhere. And it's either been because of bad weather, or because COVID scares, or in regards to everything being locked down and they recommend obviously you don't go anywhere. So I'm trying to respect that as much as possible, and obviously not coming in contact with a lot of people. It's just everything that's happened this year. I find that and I found myself even saying it, that everybody keeps saying oh, I can't wait till this year is over. I can't wait for 2021. And it feels I get the sentiment, because it almost feels we're all gonna wake up from this weird ass dream, and wake up in exiting this weird ass dimension, and enter in back to where the dimension we were all in. But at the same time, unfortunately, as much as I want to sit here and say that, and as much as I want to sit here and believe that that's what's going to happen, And that's how I hope, I hope that things clear up more and faster, and just things move along and things open back up, because the amount of small businesses that are suffering right now, and the amount of places that are closing, and the amount of people that are having their lives ruined because of this is crazy. I know I said I wouldn't talk about this, so I'm not going to talk too much more about this, because I know everybody is sick of hearing about it, but as much as I want to believe, January 1st, 2021, it's gonna kind of, we all hope that we're all gonna be back to normal, but I hope that's the case, and I really hope that there's more of a push towards that, because it doesn't feel like that's happening. It just kind of feels like we're sitting in this complacent place and of fear, and no real plan or no real focus on what's going to happen next, but more so just how we're managing right now, and fearing what's going to happen, but nothing really is happening as crazy as we thought it was going to be. So some of it seems irrational. Of course, I don't want people to die. Obviously, I don't want people getting sick. I don't want to get a cold. Even prior to COVID, I never wanted to get a cold, let alone a flu, let alone a virus that could possibly kill me. Of course, I don't wish that upon anybody else. It just doesn't feel like there is a productive plan to move forward. And it seems like we've been through crazier things, with H1N1, with SARS, with polio. There have been crazy, crazy ass shit that's happened in the last couple of decades, and nothing ever shut down an entire world. Nothing has shut down the world. So obviously, there was the fear of not knowing what it is, but we kind of know what it is now, and it just, at least in Toronto and even outside of Toronto, it just feels like there's this panic push to shut everything down again, and it's not really working, because people are still going out, because everybody's trying to live a normal life, and people are trying to get ready for Christmas, and people are still going to go out, and I think of course everybody's fatigued of just sitting at home, and I don't know. I've talked myself into a corner. I don't really know what else to say. It's frustrating, and I think everybody's feeling that at this point. We all feel frustrated at this point. And for me, if doing my makeup and not causing a nip slip, if doing my makeup and spending time doing my hair and doing my makeup, and thankfully I can still do that with one and a half hands, and put on a nice outfit and get in my car, and I have the luxury of having a car and being able to just drive out and go get a meal, or just a burger, or be able to just go get a coffee, and being able to just leave my house means so much, even if I'm doing it alone, and even if I'm sitting and talking to a camera by myself. This is better than being trapped in my apartment for another 6 months. And even during those 6 months, I was going out every single day and riding my bike. And of course now we're not creeping, we are in full-blown winter, and now it's obviously cold, and sitting outside or going for a walk or spending time outside is less of an option, because it's gotten colder. And of course you can bundle up and get dressed, but it's not the same as the summertime, so there's less of an option to be outside. And obviously that means less sun, that means less vitamin D, and vitamin D, clearly, obviously, it's been proven, it makes people happy, it makes you better, it makes you healthier, it's good for you. And now, especially in the wintertime, we get so much less than that, and it's, at least before, for me, I could go out on a Friday night, I could go out on the weekends and go out and be around people and have drinks and go out for a nice dinner or something, and now I don't have that option anymore, which isn't the end of the world. It's not even so much that I want to go spend money on drinks and food, it's just the lack of being around people, the lack of socialization is, I can see it, and it's been talked about, and I hear about it, and people talk about it on podcasts, and I'm hearing about it all the time. It's that part of this, all of this is the part that's becoming so crippling, is the fact that there is a lack of just socializing amongst one another. And at least I have the people I work with, which I'm so grateful for, but there is, it's not enough. It's not... we're not all hugging each other, we're not cuddling, we're not chilling and like having drinks. We're running around killing each other, like not each other, but killing ourselves for. I've been playing too much Among Us. I think it's seeping into my brain. We're running around killing ourselves to get work done for the day because there's so much work to do. But, and of course we have the chill downtime and we have conversations, but it's not the same. It's not the same as going out with your friends. It's not the same as going out and, like, getting, being relaxed and getting loose and, like, having some drinks and getting drunk and meeting random strangers and hanging out. It's just, like, it's just not the same. And just not even having that option, like, not having that option is, at least, I live with somebody. Like, I live with my mom, so I'm so grateful that I have somebody that I can at least speak to and that I can communicate with and I can hang out with. So I definitely, and I have a cat that I can harass and that I can make love me and hug me, or I can hug him, and which, it's only 5 seconds worth of hugging, but it's just to have those, to have an animal and to have another human being that I can communicate with and, like, just talk about and shoot the shit with is, like, I'm so grateful for it at this point. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't think anybody really knows what's gonna happen, and that's the frustrating part as well for me. I hope that there's a big push to, like, have a serious plan to move forward, because everything is going to get so much worse if they just continue to shut everything down, and, like, it's just, I don't know enough to maybe have an opinion, but that's just how I feel and what I've been experiencing lately. And yeah, I don't know. Luckily, I have a re-up supply of booze from my birthday. I was gifted some bottles of alcohol. So at least I'm set for New Year's, which will probably, like, I talk all this stuff, but at the end of the day, I end up having, like, 1 glass of wine or, like, a glass of some sort of bourbon, and then I just go to bed. Like, last night, I had a glass of wine, and then I went to bed. I don't end up just, like, sitting there and having a couple drinks. I don't even get, like, slightly tipsy, because it's just depressing to do it either alone or even just with your mom, like, when you're chilling. Like, I don't know. It's just, oh, buddy, those are some bright-ass lights. It's just, I don't know. I miss being able to socialize. I miss being around people. I miss being able to touch people, and not unwillingly people, or not people that are willing to not be or not people who are not willing to be touched. But you know what I mean? Like, even just being able to hug somebody. Like, I miss having that connection with just people without that fear of, like, oh my god, I'm gonna die tomorrow, which just probably isn't gonna be the case. But, I don't know. I don't think the doctors or nurses or whoever is dictating everything that we're doing wants to hear that or wants anybody saying that. But, like, it just seems like a lot of this is just getting a little out of hand. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I think that's it. I'm getting cold now. And I kind of want to go home now, because I think this is as exciting as the night is going to get. The burger was phenomenal. Highly recommend you guys check out Apache Burger. It is lovely, especially if you live in the area, or if you don't even live in the area. What else you gotta do? If you got a car, take a drive out. It's totally worth it. They're open really late as well. I don't know how late that they're open during COVID or COVID hours. They used to be open, I think, till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if those hours still apply now, but I would highly recommend you guys check it out if you are bored and want some good food. So there's that. This was fun. I feel better, I think. My hand doesn't. My wrist doesn't. But, such is life. Gonna go to bed, get undressed, take all this off, curl up in bed in my, like, duvet of cloudness, and go to sleep, because I gotta go to work in the morning. Yay! What is life? What is life? See you guys next time.